Shamea, girl, I don't think it's a mountain high enough or a valley low enough to keep Porsha off your.
How we get up, just call back, right back. We can spend, then get it right back, man. She just gotta want all of that, so that's why I bought.
Hey y'all, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Listen, I want to chat real quick about Real Housewives. And not just Housewives of Atlanta, but Real Housewives, okay? So first of all, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is back. And when I tell y'all, I am here for the ladies, okay? I am loving the cast photo of these ladies. And I do want to get it up on the screen for the people so that y'all can see. So let's get into this cast image. Baby, they look good. You got my girl Angie sitting in the front. She's slightly a bit further in the front, and Heather is a tad bit behind her. Okay, I don't know what that means, but it's given to me and my personal that Angie is gonna be slightly in charge of the girls. Okay, she's gonna be bringing the drama. All right, maybe not in charge of the girls, but she's definitely gonna be bringing the drama, in my opinion. And I feel like everybody just might have a storyline. Everybody just might have a bit of a storyline this season. And I'm looking forward to it. I feel like the ladies have been doing a really good job. They have definitely had me tuned in. I feel like them adding Bronwyn to the group, great. I think it was necessary in my personal. I have enjoyed Bronwyn. What I'm not going to enjoy is Bronwyn potentially being exposed as a liar. Don't know if that's gonna actually be what it is, that she was actually lying or what. But that is something I don't really want to see because I have like Bronwyn, but the trailer looked pretty good. You got Heather that's in a relationship. So I'm glad she's bringing something to the front because last year she was just on some FS. Keeping up the drama between Lisa and Angie and all of that, right? Kind of like being in the midst of that. So I'm glad to see she got her relationship situation. You got Whitney and her husband. It was already announced that they were separated or something. Now we're going to see that play out. And then it also was announced before Whitney and her husband that Angie and her husband were going through a separation. So it sucks. I hate to see that for Angie and her husband, but it looks like we're going to get more details about that as the show plays out. Bronwyn over there dating, and I'm glad to see it, dating somebody much younger than her ex-husband, honey. But for some reason, she's still having to sit down with him on the show, and I would like to understand why are y'all even sitting down for him to get up off the table and walk away from you? What was said? What happened? Okay. Then you have Mary. Now, this was interesting. Now, number one, you guys know Mary's son passed away earlier this year. Um, and I'm sure that's been definitely tough for her, but we're going to see Robert Sr. come on the screen and have a little sit down with Mary. Don't know if he's going to show up more than one time on the screen for her. I don't know how much of her son's passing they're going to show us as far as, shots from the funeral, if they're not going to show any of that, if they're just going to show the lead up to it, the after, how everybody supported her. Not sure, but looking forward to it. But this is what was interesting to me. Last season, I felt like Mary was at this place where she was just over it with the ladies arguing and being in this BS or whatever they had going on. And baby, I think, was it Brittany? She used to tell up. She used to wear Brittany out. I think she kept her foot on Brittany's neck. But outside of that, right? I felt like Mary used to find herself tired of these ladies. However, we're seeing in the previews Mary sitting at the head of the table telling people if you got an issue with somebody, then just go ahead and let them know, just say it. I said, not you being in charge of the mess, girl. When you wanted them to stop all this arguing and stuff, not you sitting over here ready for them to go ahead and tell this person, because you already know how that go. When it's time for people to share their thoughts with each other, girl, plates could get to flying. Okay, drinks could get to being thrown. People is definitely gonna get cussed the hell out. So to know that Mary sat in that position was a bit funny to me, but we'll see how it's gonna play out. Now I will say Meredith, I had thought Meredith quit the show. I believe that could have been like somebody like not telling the truth. I think it was like, how they put stories out there saying that she quit the show, and I think she came back and said that wasn't the case. Well, either way, girl, I'm not seeing you in this trailer. I don't recall seeing anything about Meredith in this trailer. I saw something about the new girl that's coming to the show, I guess, as a friend of, and Brittany as a friend of, than I saw about Meredith. So this is going to be very interesting. Now, Meredith, I'm not going to hold you, girl. Get your checks, honey. If they gonna let you sit up there and just ride and coast without bringing nothing to the front, get your money. Get your coin, girl. Do what you gonna do. I can't be mad at that. Let the other girls work harder, but we shall see. Because I just hope I don't get to a place where I'm feeling like, you know what, Brittany can go ahead and take Meredith's snowflake. We gonna see, y'all. I'm looking forward to it. So it's going to be premiering on Wednesdays, from my understanding, and the first episode is going to drop on September 16th. So y'all let me know if you're going to be watching. I plan on watching. I plan on reviewing. I hope the girls keep me entertained the entire season as they did last season. So we shall see. And also, when I think about Salt Lake City, I also think about Real Housewives of Rhode Island, who just had their first season. And I feel like their first season was pretty good. Okay, I think I fell off a tad bit when Love Island came into play, but I think that season was good, and I believe give them another season and a few more, they're gonna be up here with Salt Lake City with some good stuff, because the girls was definitely entertaining for sure. But leave your thoughts and comments down below about that. The next thing is Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So y'all know that it's gonna be dropping. I believe, is it August 27th? Correct me in the comments. I believe it's gonna be dropping soon. They had a premiere party. Okay, the people showed up to the premiere party. Who was not at the premiere party was Nene Leakes, which is very interesting. Maybe she was booked, maybe she had something else going on, but that was interesting for her to not be at the premiere party, considering the fact that she was a part of the show. There was a time in the episode where she was communicating with Porsha. Okay, so she came over to Porsha's house. She saw her. Honestly, in my opinion, watching that clip of Nene go over to Porsha's house would have made for a great, to me, and I already know how y'all feel. Y'all do what y'all do. But it would have made for a great intro video of Nene back into Real Housewives of Atlanta. That would have been real cutesy bootsy like, okay? But they used it for an Ultimate Girls Trip. So she shows up and they over there chatting like they've never had an issue before. Like, those friends that you may not talk to for some time, but when y'all get to talking, y'all pick up like, y'all just talked yesterday. So they showed up and they're chatting and talking and stuff. And so Porsha is saying that Nene's going to come along, I guess, at different things that they may do or something, or whatever event they're going to have, Nene's going to pop up there or something. So it was cute to see, but it also was giving that, is this also a soft launch of Nene coming back to Housewives of Atlanta? Because I understand people like, oh, move on, we got a new cast, this and that. Listen, if she popped in maybe 3 episodes as a friend of, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that. To have Nene pop up, I wouldn't be mad. Okay. And then I feel like with Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, I do wonder what the ratings are going to be like when Nene does return to film that with Porsha. Are the ratings going to be super high? Is the viewership going to be super high, as to where they may start considering like, hey, okay, Nene did good. The numbers were good. It was potentially better than Real Housewives of Atlanta numbers. Maybe we could bring her on over to Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we'll have to wait and see. But either way, good luck. Now, getting back to the Ultimate Girls Trip premiere party, right? So Andy came to the front to get into a piece about Shamea, okay? And her not doing Housewives sooner. Because there was a time where her husband didn't want to do it. I wasn't fully sure as to why. I always thought that he didn't want to be on camera, but I wasn't like, was it that or what was it? Because Andy is saying that he didn't want to film in the house. And I'm like, oh, he did? So he didn't want to film in the house and he didn't want to I don't know. I guess. Girl, I ain't had this conversation. This is what they had. So we are going to get into it. But before we do, real quick, did y'all see that Angela dropped her Fangelas? She dropped the Fangelas, and the people been dragging her on social media because they feel like she used AI images and she should have did a better job. They felt like she could have did a better job instead of using AI images to promote her fans. Listen, man, the people, they've been using AI for everything, high key. So I don't know. Is you gonna buy a fan or is you ain't? Okay. Now I want to be a bedazzled fan, but I don't know no more. We'll see. Let me see how Angela acted at this reunion before I go buy a fan. We're gonna see. Okay. But let me know. Did you put your order in? Are you not gonna put an order in? What are your plans? Okay. Let's slide over here because I want to get into what Andy had to say regarding Shamea. So shout out to No Chaser TV. Let's check out what Andy revealed about Shamea and reveals that Shamea and Porsha steered clear of each other at the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip party, and says a reason why Shamea wasn't a housewife much sooner. Let's get into it.
And I have to say, Shamea was there, and Porsha, and Shamea's husband, and so they kind of stayed clear of each other, but there were, it was all very calm, and it was funny. I was talking to Shamea and her husband, and there's been so much talk about Porsha. The narrative has been that Porsha didn't want Shamea to come on as a housewife. But I was saying to Shamea and Gerald, I said, Shamea, something that's not been discussed much, which to me was always the big barrier of you joining the show, was that Gerald wanted nothing to do with it, and he didn't want you shooting at your house, Sterling Hall. And that was the case also. That was part of the real story about why Shamea was not a housewife sooner. And I was saying to Gerald, I said, when you show up, it's really great. And it was nice. I had never met him. The HVAC king. He's the HVAC king.
I don't know why I feel like that was a little shade. The HVAC king. Either way, all right. This is what Andy is saying. Gerald wanted nothing to do with the show. I could believe that. Being the CEO that he was and all of that, likely not understanding it, whatever the case is, not surprised that he wanted nothing to do with the show. I don't think that's uncommon. But Shamea gets in the comments here and she says, my husband has never had a problem with me filming at our home or with our children. So it sounds like she's confirming, like, yeah, he didn't want nothing to do with it, as I told y'all. But as far as me being a part of the show and our children being on the show and us filming at the house, that was never an issue. He just never wanted to be on the show. I do remember Shamea saying in an interview, and I think it was that Speak On It she did with Kandi, where when they did approach her previously for her to do the show, it was like he had to be a part of that and he wanted nothing to do with it. But it was a situation where, if we bring you on, you have to bring him on. I do remember a conversation like that. But that's what she said. So I don't know. But Porsha gets in the comments, and this was honestly so not necessary. I didn't feel like Porsha needed to give her 2 cents at all. I really didn't. She didn't even have to say nothing at all. It's giving teacher's pet turn tattletale. She says, now you're implying Andy is lying for the second time. And then she put the alarm emoji up there. You're implying that Andy is lying for a second time. So I feel like now this makes me believe that Porsha is trying to now develop a narrative with Andy that, she lying on you. She look at her now. She lying on you again. And it's like, well, Porsha, you also assisted in lying on Kandi. And you have still been able to flourish and go on to grow. So it is what it is. It seems like you kind of want her to get a little piece of that Nene treatment and get kicked out. That's what it sounds like. But if he didn't have the story 100% correct, then she has a right to correct it, But I still feel like either could be true. Maybe he didn't want her ass filming at the house. I don't know. Maybe he did, like, don't come over here with it. You could definitely be a part of the show, but just don't bring that shit over here. Very well could have been possible. IDK. But she says, first, Andy already confirmed that I tried for years to get you on Real Housewives as a full-time housewife. I don't recall Andy ever confirming that you tried for years to get her on the show. What I remember Andy confirming was that you supported her. But I do recall Kandi being I don't know if she was one of, but I do recall Kandi saying on multiple occasions that she went to them and told them they should get Shamea. Gerald wasn't open to it, but she says when she left the show, the last time she left the show, she went to them and said, y'all really need to go and talk to Shamea. I think some things, may have changed. Go and talk to Shamea. Y'all really need to get Shamea on this show. And so that's what happened. But I don't remember Andy confirming that for years you actually tried to get her on the show. First time Shamea came to the people, I thought she came onto the show by way of Kandi. But okay. She said second, Andy is saying that the real reason, which hasn't been discussed until now, is that Gerald didn't want you filming in the home. So now you're trying to put both of y'all on the same level because Simon went through the courts to make sure you couldn't film in his home. And that restricted you during the season that you were supposed to make the grand comeback. Mm. And then she says, yet here you are saying that Andy is lying again. So this is her reiterating, okay? And this is a message to Andy. She's lying on you. She's lying on you. Child, this is why with this type of stuff, y'all not finna convince me, okay, that Porsha did not want Shamea ass on this show. And that Porsha did not want Shamea to feel as uncomfortable as possible this season to a point where she would probably leave the show. Okay. Then she says, you are the liar, steady stirring false narratives. How is she stirring up a false narrative when she is clearing up or at least responding to what somebody else said? How? You're saying because I guess Portia's referring to the conversation of Porsha not wanting her on this show. I still believe that. I feel like there could have been a time that you did want her on the show. But at a time when your life was like, you were dealing with whatever you were dealing with, you probably didn't want her ass on the show no more. Because you weren't able to bring forth the life that you really wanted. The grand life and stuff. So, it's possible that your feelings had changed. Okay. But that's that. It's going to be crazy to see these two go at it next season because now I feel like with Shamea seeing how Porsha is coming, she's going to start meeting her there. She's going to start meeting her there. My thing is, Shamea, when you meet her there, don't apologize for it. It's going to be what it is. Don't apologize for it. And I do feel like with Porsha, although Porsha is entertaining, Porsha will let anything fly out her mouth. And with Porsha letting anything fly out her mouth, it's like, I don't know. You might want to not battle her. I don't know. Because she'll just say some shit. And then now on some Angela type stuff. So now everybody looking at you like, oh, did you cheat on Gerald? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you da-da-da? If it wasn't made clear this past season how Porsha don't want your ass on this show now, she definitely gonna make you feel extremely uncomfortable the next time around to get you off. So I don't know. You better be ready. Don't worry about having no friends because a lot of these ladies on these shows ain't friends no way. You lucky if you get one. It's really giving coworkers. So start treating them as such. Stop having high expectations for these people and then they let you down every time for what? And stop pleading your case. Stop pleading your case. Stop apologizing. It's giving every bit of Nene. I said what I said. Like, what else is going on? Okay, what you want me to do about it? Now, and what you want me to do? What you want me to do? Like, girl, no. So Gerald gets in the comments and says, it was great meeting Andy last night. I have always supported my wife and children being on the show as well as them filming in our home. I will continue to support her. Okay, so that is what he's saying. He also is kind of deading a bit of the narrative, I guess, that he didn't want her filming in the home. It was more so about him not wanting to be on the show. Honestly, even with everybody coming out telling their side, I still don't know who's telling the truth. Okay. What I can tell you though, even with all of what it was, what it is now is that Porsha and Shamea now have to coexist on a show that once only belonged to Porsha. Okay. In addition to that, whatever it was, what it is now is that the filming in the home is happening. Whatever it was and what it is now is that Gerald is also filming. It is what it is. Same thing with Porsha. Whatever it was and what it is now, she's being able to film in her damn home now. Whatever it was, whatever it is, she's divorced to this damn man. Okay? And this is where we are. So it's gonna be a messy season come next season. And I'm sure film is gonna kick up real soon. But best of luck to everybody involved, and good luck to the people. That's all that I have at this time. You guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below on what all we discussed. I'm Jamie, that's me. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.